The first step in transforming your life with this 6-month success plan is to understand the incredible power of definite purpose. Most people drift through life without a clear destination. They want things to be better, they hope for success, but they have not taken the time to define what that success actually looks like. Imagine getting into a car and telling the GPS to just take me somewhere better. Where would you end up? Probably nowhere meaningful. That is how many live their lives, moving, working, doing, but never progressing towards something definite. A definite purpose is the blueprint, the exact address, the clear destination that allows you to move with intention. When you become clear about what you want, you activate a deeper part of your mind. You start to filter opportunities differently. You begin to recognize possibilities you never noticed before because your focus has shifted. The brain has a mechanism called the reticular activating system, and it acts like a filter. When you set a specific goal, your mind automatically begins to notice people, resources, and circumstances that align with that purpose. It is as if the world starts rearranging itself in your favor, but in truth, you were simply blind to these opportunities before you made the decision. Definiteness of purpose is the root of all great achievement. Think of the people who have changed history: leaders, inventors, builders, creators. None of them stumbled into success by accident. They began with a clear, passionate vision of what they wanted to create. They decided, beyond doubt, that this is the outcome they would bring into reality. That clarity is what separates those who accomplish extraordinary things from those who remain stuck in mediocrity. Without it, energy is scattered, effort is wasted, and life becomes a circle of activity without advancement. Now, for the next 6 months, the challenge is not to merely want change, but to define it. What do you want to look back on 6 months from today and say, I accomplished that? It cannot be vague like, I want to be happier, or I want more money. It must be exact and measurable. How much money? What kind of happiness? Do you want to build a business that earns a specific income? Do you want to lose a set amount of weight? Do you want to learn a new skill that can increase your value? The clearer you make it, the more powerful it becomes. A definite purpose also builds energy. When you wake up in the morning, knowing exactly what you are moving toward, it infuses your day with passion. Life takes on meaning. Instead of dragging yourself through the hours, you are pulled forward by a vision. That vision becomes the fuel that sustains your discipline. On the days you feel tired, that purpose whispers to you, reminding you why you must keep moving. But here is the truth: defining your purpose requires courage. Many people avoid setting clear goals because they are afraid of failure. If they set nothing, then nothing can be lost. But when you set something definite, you risk disappointment. Yet that risk is necessary, for without it you guarantee mediocrity. 6 months of definite purpose will take you further than 6 years of wandering without direction. To transform your life, write your goal down. See it, speak it daily. Let it sink into your mind until it becomes a burning desire. The power of definite purpose is not in words on paper, but in the way those words change how you think, how you act, and how you persist. It is the compass for this journey. Without it, the 6-month plan has no structure. With it, you have already begun the transformation. Your life is a reflection of your beliefs. The results you see in your relationships, your finances, your health, and your opportunities are nothing more than the outer picture of the inner patterns that dominate your mind. If you want to transform your life in 6 months, you cannot just change what you do on the outside. You must reprogram what you believe on the inside. Most people try to force results by working harder, putting in longer hours, or grinding themselves into exhaustion. But if their underlying beliefs contradict their desires, they will always sabotage themselves. You cannot outwork a mindset that is wired for failure. The only true way to rise to a higher level is to change the operating system itself. From the moment you were born, you were conditioned. You absorbed the beliefs of your parents, your teachers, your culture, and your environment. Some of these beliefs are empowering, but many are limiting. You may have been told money is scarce, or success is only for the lucky, or life is meant to be a struggle. These ideas take root in the subconscious mind, and once they are there, they govern your behavior automatically. That is why you sometimes know what you should do, but cannot seem to do it consistently. It is not that you are weak or lazy. It is that your subconscious programming is stronger than your conscious willpower. Reprogramming the mind means deliberately choosing new beliefs and installing them until they replace the old ones. This is not something that happens overnight, but 6 months of consistent practice can create a permanent shift. The first step is awareness. You must notice the thoughts that run through your mind on autopilot. When you think about success, do you feel excitement or fear? When you consider wealth, do you feel deserving or doubtful? Your emotional reaction reveals the hidden programming. Once you become aware of the old patterns, you can begin to rewrite them. One of the most powerful tools in this process is repetition. The subconscious mind learns through repetition and emotion. By affirming new beliefs every day, by visualizing your desired future vividly and emotionally, you gradually overwrite the old programs. For 6 months, commit to speaking your goal as if it is already yours, to seeing yourself in possession of it, and to feeling the emotions of gratitude and joy as though it has already happened. In time, your subconscious accepts these new ideas as normal. Once it does, your behavior changes effortlessly, because you always act in harmony with the beliefs you hold at the deepest level. It is also essential to guard your mind. Just as a gardener removes weeds to protect the flowers, you must eliminate negative input that reinforces the old patterns. For the next 6 months, pay attention to what you read, what you watch, and who you listen to. Every word, every image, every conversation is a seed planted in your mind. If you surround yourself with doubt and negativity, your mind will produce more of the same. If you surround yourself with inspiration, success stories, and positive influences, your mind will naturally shift toward abundance and possibility. This reprogramming process is the foundation of transformation. Without it, you may push yourself with effort, but you will always feel resistance. With it, you flow. You stop fighting yourself. Your mind becomes an ally instead of an enemy. And as your beliefs change, your results change automatically, without strain. 6 months of consistent reprogramming can take a person from fear to confidence, from scarcity to abundance, from stagnation to unstoppable momentum. The truth is, your life will never rise above the level of your thinking. If you continue to believe what you have always believed, you will continue to live the way you have always lived. But if you choose to reprogram your mind, to deliberately install new patterns of thought, then 6 months from now, you can be living a life that today seems almost impossible. This is the power of changing your inner world. It changes everything else. Success is never built in a single day, and it is never the result of one grand gesture. It is the product of small disciplines repeated consistently over time. If you truly want to transform your life in 6 months, you must come to understand and apply this principle. Your future is hidden in your daily habits. The little choices you make today, repeated tomorrow, and carried into the next day, are what compound into massive change. It may not seem like much at first, but just as drops of water can wear away stone, small disciplines have the power to carve out extraordinary results. Most people underestimate the power of simple actions because they do not produce instant results. Reading 10 pages of a book today won't make you a scholar by tomorrow. Saving a few dollars today won't make you wealthy overnight. Doing a short workout won't instantly transform your body. Because the results are not immediate, people often dismiss these actions as insignificant. But the secret lies in compounding. Over 6 months, 10 pages a day becomes 1,800 pages. A small savings becomes a foundation of security. A short workout becomes visible transformation. What seems small in the moment becomes monumental when repeated over time. Think about the difference between success and failure. It is rarely one major decision that divides the two. It is usually the accumulation of tiny disciplines practiced daily versus tiny errors in judgment repeated daily. Skipping the workout today, spending instead of saving, scrolling on your phone instead of reading. None of these things will ruin you instantly, but over time, they build a life of mediocrity and regret. On the other hand, exercising daily, feeding your mind with knowledge, speaking affirmations, practicing gratitude. These two don't seem life-changing at first, but 6 months of them can completely redefine who you are and what you experience. The key is to be intentional. You must decide what disciplines you will commit to for the next 6 months, knowing that they will become the foundation of your transformation. Choose a few simple habits that align with your definite purpose. If your goal is financial growth, commit to daily learning about money and practicing disciplined saving. If your goal is health, commit to daily exercise and nourishing your body. If your goal is confidence or self-mastery, commit to daily visualization, affirmations, and personal growth. It is not about doing everything at once, but about doing the right things consistently. These small disciplines also build character. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you strengthen your confidence and self-image. You begin to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you stop doubting your ability to reach the larger goals. 6 months of keeping daily promises to yourself will make you stronger, more disciplined, and more certain of your ability to succeed. You will not only achieve external results, you will become a different person internally, one who naturally attracts and maintains success. The most beautiful thing about daily disciplines is that they create momentum. At first, it may feel difficult, but with time, the discipline becomes habit, and habit becomes automatic. What once required effort becomes natural. Reading daily feels incomplete without it. Exercising feels odd if you skip it. Journaling feels necessary. At this stage, you are no longer pushing yourself uphill, you are carried forward by momentum. 6 months of compounded effort creates a point of no return, where your new lifestyle becomes part of your identity. This is why 6 months can truly transform a life. Not because of one great achievement, but because of hundreds of small disciplines stacked one upon another. Each action by itself may feel insignificant, but together they create a new reality. The choice is always in the present moment. Do you repeat the error of judgment, or do you repeat the discipline? If you choose the discipline daily, 6 months from now you will look back and realize that what seemed small in the moment was actually the very thing that changed everything. Your environment is one of the most powerful forces shaping your destiny, often more influential than your willpower or determination. Many people try to change their lives while remaining in the exact same environment that created their current results. And then they wonder why transformation feels so difficult. If you want to make the next 6 months a turning point in your life, you must deliberately shape your surroundings so they pull you forward instead of holding you back. You cannot plant seeds of greatness in soil filled with weeds and expect them to thrive. Your environment is the soil in which your dreams either flourish or wither. The people you surround yourself with have an enormous impact on the way you think and act. If you spend your time with individuals who complain, doubt, or settle for less, their energy will quietly seep into your own mind. You will find yourself thinking smaller, justifying mediocrity, and resisting change. On the other hand, when you spend time with people who think big, who pursue growth, who speak with confidence, and who live with vision, you begin to rise to their level. Their belief becomes contagious. You absorb their habits, their mindset, their drive. In 6 months, your life can look completely different simply by adjusting the company you keep. But environment goes beyond people. It includes the spaces you live and work in. Look around at your home, your office, your digital spaces. Are they cluttered, disorganized, draining? Or are they clean, inspiring, and filled with reminders of your goals? The physical environment around you either energizes you or depletes you. A disorganized space creates mental fog, while an orderly and uplifting space makes it easier to focus and move forward. For the next 6 months, make it a practice to design your environment intentionally. Place affirmations where you can see them. Keep books that inspire you within reach. Remove distractions that tempt you to waste time. Every detail matters because every detail influences your mind. Information is also part of your environment. The shows you watch, the news you consume, the podcasts you listen to, the social media you scroll through. These are seeds planted in your subconscious every single day. If you allow a constant stream of negativity, gossip, or fear-driven messages to flood your mind, you cannot expect to think with clarity or optimism. If you fill your ears and eyes with knowledge, motivation, and stories of success, you reprogram your thinking to align with growth. For 6 months, become ruthless about what you allow into your mental environment. Guard it as you would guard a treasure, because it is. There is another dimension to environment, and that is energy. Every environment carries an energy you can feel even if you cannot explain it. Walk into a room filled with complaining, and you feel your energy drop. Walk into a room filled with laughter, encouragement, and creativity, and you feel lifted. Energy is invisible but powerful, and if you want to rise higher, you must place yourself in environments charged with positivity and possibility. Sometimes this means physically relocating, but often it simply means choosing different spaces, different people, different conversations. The truth is, you are not stronger than your environment. You are shaped by it. Willpower may help for a short while, but over time, your environment always wins. If you want lasting change in 6 months, you must build an environment that makes success easier and failure harder. Surround yourself with people who expect you to grow. Fill your mind with voices that call you higher. Create physical spaces that support your focus. This is not about isolating yourself, but about aligning yourself with where you are going, instead of where you have been. 6 months in the right environment can create breakthroughs that years of effort in the wrong environment never will. Transformation is not just about who you are. It is about where you are and what surrounds you daily. Change your environment, and your environment will change you. That is the power that will carry you to the life you desire. Dreams and goals are beautiful, but they remain nothing more than ideas unless they are backed by action. You can spend hours visualizing, journaling, and planning, but if you never step forward and take consistent action, your life will not change. Action is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between thought and reality. For the next 6 months, this principle must become the heartbeat of your transformation. You cannot wait for the perfect moment, the perfect circumstances, or the perfect plan. You must act, and then adjust as you go. Many people hesitate because they want certainty before they begin. They want to know every detail, predict every outcome, and avoid every risk. But life does not reward hesitation. The truth is, clarity comes through action, not before it. When you take the first step, the next step reveals itself. When you move, momentum begins to build. But when you stand still, all you create is more doubt. If you commit to 6 months of daily action toward your definite purpose, you will discover that progress comes faster than you imagined. Action alone is not enough. Persistence is what turns action into results. The moment you begin moving toward a goal, obstacles will appear. You will face resistance, delays, and setbacks. This is not a sign that you are failing. It is proof that you are growing. Anything worthwhile requires persistence. Most people quit too soon. They stop just before the breakthrough. The dream was within reach, but their lack of persistence robbed them of the reward. If you want to transform your life in 6 months, you must make a decision right now. No matter what comes, you will not quit. Persistence does not mean blindly doing the same thing over and over. It means staying committed to the outcome while being flexible in the approach. If one method doesn't work, you adjust and try another. If one door closes, you look for another door, or you build your own. Persistence is not stubbornness, it is resilience. It is the refusal to let temporary defeat become permanent failure. Every small step you take daily reinforces this law. Making one phone call, sending one email, writing one page, saving $1, doing one workout, these may seem insignificant by themselves, but they are the bricks that build the foundation of success. 6 months of these small but consistent actions create massive results. The power is not in doing something once, but in doing it again and again until it becomes part of who you are. Action and persistence also build confidence. Every time you act despite fear, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Every time you persist through difficulty, you strengthen your belief that nothing can stop you. Confidence does not come before action, it comes as a result of it. 6 months of consistent, persistent action will transform the way you see yourself. You will no longer wonder if you can achieve your goals, you will know it. Think of this process like planting seeds. When you plant a seed, you do not see results immediately. Days, even weeks may pass without any visible sign of growth. But beneath the surface, something powerful is happening. Roots are forming, life is developing, and eventually, a shoot breaks through the ground. If you quit watering and nurturing the seed too soon, you never see the harvest. Action is the planting, and persistence is the watering. If you stay faithful to both, the harvest is inevitable. For the next 6 months, let action and persistence be your daily practice. Even on the days you feel tired or discouraged, take one step forward. Even when results are invisible, trust that progress is happening. Your persistence will carry you through the resistance, and your action will turn your vision into reality. 6 months from now, you will look back and realize that the small steps you took every day, combined with your refusal to quit, created a transformation that once seemed impossible. 6 months may not seem like a long time, but when lived with focus and intention, it has the power to completely transform your life. Think about how quickly the past 6 months have gone by. Time moves whether you are intentional with it or not. The question is not whether 6 months will pass, it will. The question is, what will you have to show for it when it does? The 6-month transformation principle is about understanding that in half a year, you can rewire your thinking, reshape your habits, and rebuild your results if you commit fully. The reason 6 months is such a powerful period is that it is long enough to create permanent change but short enough to stay focused. A year often feels too distant, and a month may be too short to see meaningful results. But 6 months is the perfect balance. It gives your mind and body enough time to adapt to new patterns, and it gives your spirit enough momentum to believe that a new life is truly possible. It is a container of time that, if used wisely, can create breakthroughs that echo for years. The transformation begins in your mind. 6 months of feeding your thoughts with clarity, purpose, and belief will shift the way you see yourself in the world. When you start to think differently, you begin to act differently. Every new action plants the seeds of new results, and the more consistently you nurture those seeds, the faster they grow into habits. A habit is nothing more than repeated action that has become automatic. 6 months is long enough for small disciplines to evolve into habits so strong they become part of your identity. Identity is where the real transformation happens. When you commit to 6 months of consistent focus, you are not just changing what you do. You are changing who you are. You go from being a person who tries to being a person who does. From someone who hopes to someone who expects. From someone who wishes to someone who knows. These shifts in identity are subtle at first, but over time they solidify. By the end of 6 months, you no longer have to push yourself the same way because the new you has taken root. You act in alignment with your higher vision naturally. Another reason 6 months is so powerful is that it reveals the law of accumulation. The first few weeks may feel slow. You may not see visible results immediately, but as the days turn into weeks, and the weeks into months, the small victories begin to stack. Progress compounds, and suddenly what once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable. What was once effort becomes habit, and what was once foreign becomes natural. 6 months is the point at which compounded effort begins to show itself in undeniable ways. Of course, this transformation is not automatic. It requires consistency and faith in the process. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when progress feels invisible, and when quitting seems easier than continuing. But if you remind yourself of the 6-month principle, you will keep moving forward. You will remember that transformation is happening even when you cannot yet see it. Just as seasons change slowly but surely, so too does your life shift when you remain faithful to the daily practices. 6 months is also a test of belief. To commit to such a plan, you must believe you are worthy of change and capable of achieving it. If you doubt yourself, you will give up too early. But if you decide that you are worthy and that these 6 months matter, you will approach every day with seriousness and gratitude. That belief alone can change the quality of your actions, turning ordinary effort into extraordinary progress. 6 months from today will arrive whether you act or not. The difference will be in who you are when it arrives. Will you be the same person, repeating the same patterns, stuck in the same results? Or will you be transformed, thinking new thoughts, living with new habits, and experiencing new results? The choice is yours, and the principle is simple. 6 months of consistent focus can change everything. If you embrace it fully, you will look back not with regret, but with gratitude, knowing that you used time wisely to step into the life you were meant to live.